Craven County Board of Commissioners regular session for Monday, December 3rd is now in session. I'd ask you to put all your phones on silent ring. Madam Clerk, could you call the roll?
Certainly. Commissioner Jones?
Here.
Commissioner Liner?
Here.
Commissioner McCabe?
Here.
Commissioner Sampson?
Here.
Commissioner Tyson?
Here.
Vice Chair Dacey?
Here.
Chairman Moore?
Here. Let's stand for the pledge, please. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dear Father, I ask that you bless this board and the one that shall be seated tonight as we seek your help with our affairs on behalf of the people of Craven County. Bless this meeting with your divine intelligence and help us to make the best use of what you have provided to each of us. While we may be of diverse opinion, we wish to understand one another and reach agreement to make lives better for all. Please share your wisdom with us on this blessed evening so that we may do what is right for the people of Craven County. Thank you for your blessing. Amen.
Amen.
Gentlemen, you've all had the opportunity to look over the agenda, the old business, and recognition of the outgoing commissioners. Do I have approval?
So moved. Second.
Second. Roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Jones?
Yes.
Commissioner Liner?
Yes.
Commissioner McCabe?
Yes.
Commissioner Sampson?
Yes.
Commissioner Tyson?
Yes.
Vice Chair Dacey?
Yes.
Chairman Moore?
Yes. I'm going to take chairman's privilege this evening, and we're going to switch part of the agenda around as far as presentation of plaques and commissioners' comments. So I'm going to start with commissioners' comments first.
Did you approve the old business in that also?
I thought we did it all together.
Okay.
Just to make certain, Mr. Chairman, I have moved to approve the old business.
Second.
Okay. Motion on it? Second.
Second.
Roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Jones?
Yes.
Commissioner Liner?
Yes.
Commissioner McCabe?
Yes.
Commissioner Sampson?
Yes.
Commissioner Tyson?
Yes.
Vice Chair Dacey?
Yes.
Chairman Moore?
Yes. All right, I'll start with Commissioner Tyson.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, is this the time for me to do
Yes.
my farewell?
It certainly is.
Well, I would like to stand up to do that, and first of all, it has truly been an honor to serve as one of the commissioners for the past 12 and a half years. It's been quite an experience. I've served on this board through good times and bad, and believe me, there were plenty of bad. In case you don't remember the great real estate and economic meltdown in 2008 through 14, this board do what they had to do. They tightened up their belt, they became creative and got things done with less, Mr. Chairman, and I'm proud of that because Craven County has one of the lowest effective tax rates in the state of North Carolina. I served on this board through 3 devastating hurricanes. The last one, which will probably go down as the most devastating hurricane to hit this county. This county showed its leadership. The board showed its leadership. Our staff showed its leadership through this. We got through it. And one of the proudest moments, I think, of my tenure on this board was in 2010 when I was elected chairman. And Harold Blizzard announced shortly thereafter that he was going to resign. He said he had served under one Tyson as chairman before, and he wasn't going to serve. So shortly after taking chairmanship of the board, Harold said he wanted to name his successor, and I said, well, name him. I said, I don't know that I'm going to go with that one. It was a board decision, but I believe the board was kind of leaning at me because I was a senior member of the board at the time. And he said, I want Jack to be. I said, Jack's only 29 years old. I said, I've got shoes older than that. I went over this meeting. And finally I said, Harold, let me think about this. And I went back to him. I said, you sure he's ready for the job? He said, Steve, I'm sure. I said, well, I'm taking your advice. You've been a great county manager. I did, and I will have to say, during the darkest hour of the longest night in this county's history, Jack Bite performed excellently and continues to do so. And I'd like to say one more thing. I don't know, I've seen some of our county staff here. If you're with the county, not in that part, but the other county staff, please stand up. Don, are you here? Did he leave? Okay, well, I want to say that I've been in the private sector, independent businessman for almost 40 years. I would have to say that all of our department heads are equally as good as anybody I've ever worked with in the private sector. They really do an excellent job, and I'm very proud of them. And it's easy to beat up on government. I used to do it all the time before I became government. Now I think government does a pretty good job sometimes. But, Mr. Chairman, thank you for allowing me to say a few parting words, and it's been a pleasure. Is this when I make my exit?
No. Vice Chair?
Mr. Chairman, thank you very much. I'm not as glib as Commissioner Tyson, so I'm going to have to go from a little bit of a prepared text. Not only that, but I probably lose it otherwise. So, Mr. Chairman, when seeking this job 8 years ago, I was bent on making certain that the county would use the judicial facility out in Clarks. And while campaigning, I knew the facility to be overbuilt and without purpose. I thought that in my heart. I was all willing to point out blame to those who designated the facility, but failed to know that state law would prohibit its use as a courtroom because it lays outside the county seat of New Bern. In fact, after spending many hours working on the issues concerning the use of the Clarks facility, I too came to the conclusion that the options for the use of the courtrooms and the associated offices were very limited. However, I'm pleased to say that I've just returned from the judicial facility, and while it has taken all 8 years of the time that I've served on this board, the people of Craven County should know that the facility is finally being used to their benefit and to the benefit of our taxpayers. Effective today, Clarks is now hosting the Public Defender's Office, and I want to thank the staff for getting that done. And I took a tour of the facility earlier tonight, and it's just going to be perfect space for them. So thank you very much on allowing me to at least have some limited amount of gratification as I leave this. I offer this story both as a way to suggest to the incoming commissioners that they take the time before making long-term decisions. And as a comment to the public, that change in this county takes time and it takes patience. Craven County will be entering its 306th anniversary in just a few weeks. Things in Craven County are as they are for a reason. And I encourage all to embrace its history and learn from it. Before moving on to thank all those who have helped me in my service, I want to comment on one issue I found to be particularly troubling since I began my service on this board. In 2010, the work of this board was covered by the New Bern Sun-Journal's Sue Book, who was as good of a reporter as you will find anywhere in the United States. In most instances, she knew more about the work of Craven County than did many of the commissioners, and certainly more than I did. During her tenure, the Sun-Journal would often carry 3 or 4 stories each week concerning the county's work. With her departure, the actions of this board were covered by a few staff writers, but over time, coverage of county government has nearly disappeared. The presence of an active press is critical to ensuring that our representative democracy continues to work efficiently and effectively for all. Moreover, the absence of any true news coverage has created a void for those who are agenda-driven, and fake news has been unfortunately seeping into our community. While there may not be anything the members of this board or future boards can do to save the Sun-Journal from its troubles, commissioners can fight back when they see agenda-driven fake news propagated by self-appointed town criers. Do not let the good work of this board be besmirched by those who are trying to find some sense of self-relevance. Stand up and call for the facts to be reported, suggesting that implementing smart government programs like the creation of the federally qualified health centers in New Bern and Havelock are nothing more than wasteful government spending fails to recognize the important contributions such programs make to the livability of our community and the cost savings achieved by our hospital, which also, we must remember, is owned by the county and the people of Craven County. It is a fact that over the past 8 years, our government has kept spending and taxes well below inflation and population growth, the gold standard for responsible governing. A large majority of this board has fought hard over this period of time to promote limited government and to protect our freedom and liberty. The taxpayers of Craven County deserve to know these facts. In closing, I want to thank the staff for all their hard work and professionalism they've displayed throughout the entire tenure of my presence on this board. Scott, the Rusties, Eddie, Mr. Antry, Glenn, Don, Chad, Dennis, Mary, Timothy, Stanley, Kent, Elfrida, and so many others, I can't thank you enough for all the work that you've done. I also want the folks of the town of Trent Woods, Riverbend, and the city of New Bern to know that these folks have got your back day in and day out. They are not the people that we necessarily see all the time or read about in the press, but these are the true workhorses in our community. Allison, Craig, Amber, Jean, Nan, Gwen. Where's Gwen here? I hope that she'd come tonight. I want to thank you all for your willingness to help me get prepared and stay out of trouble. As many of you know, I tried to hold a monthly town hall meeting. I got a little bit lazy the last couple of months, but we were able to get about 91 of them done over the last 8 years. And without the help of those individuals, there's no way that I could have made it through each of those meetings to try to answer the questions of the taxpayers and the people that would come visit. Oftentimes, nobody would show up at all, but that's okay. I still enjoyed the time. And I want to thank them all. Jack, you enjoy wisdom beyond your years. I will never be able to express to the people of Craven County just how lucky we are to have you in our community. You continue to set the standard of hard work and professionalism that can only be found in natural leaders. Thank you, my friend. Finally, to my family and the people of Craven County, thank you for giving me the opportunity to serve. The hardship of this job has fallen primarily on my family, as it usually is the case with those who seek elective office. My wife Jennifer and the kids have been nothing less than fully supportive throughout this endeavor, and I am certain that the thanks I am often given by the people of Craven County is really to be shared with them. Thank you very, very much for this opportunity, and I look forward to whatever might lie ahead. And I want to thank my colleagues on this wonderful board. You've all been wonderful, trusted, and a lot of fun to work with.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Commissioner Jones.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Today is certainly a day of emotion for our nation as we remember one of our former presidents and his passing and his death. But it is also, I think, a day of emotion for myself to see my colleagues leave. I'm joyful about the new colleagues that I will have the opportunity to work with. But as I stated to these gentlemen already, and I will state to you, my family has been in county government, local government, with Granddaddy and passing to myself for 50-some years now. And as I always look to those that have always served in the U.S. Senate, as the U.S. Senate is a place in which, you know, when you walk in and those gentlemen and ladies go there to serve, and just what it means to be a part of that body. And I know Senator Sanderson feels the same way about the North Carolina Senate. I feel that same way about this local government that we have, because, folks, I see the purpose of it and what it can do and what it does for our citizens. Having said that, these two gentlemen bring a lot of knowledge to this table each and every time we discuss and deliberate something. I look to my colleague here on beside me for a lot of wisdom, and he has a great knowledge, a background of Craven County that many don't have. I like the history that he tells, because I like history. And he remembers that history, and I cherish that too, and I commend you to keep on doing that. And Vice Chairman Dacey, we haven't always seen eye to eye, but we have acquired a respect for each other to agree to disagree in our midst. And ladies and gentlemen, by not sending him to Congress is a mistake on all of our parts from Craven County. And I say that to you publicly for what he has to offer, I think, for the citizens of eastern North Carolina. And I look forward to what these two gentlemen will do in the future. They got great years, I know, ahead of them, and have a lot to offer to the citizens of this county. And thank you for your service. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Wynand?
Sir, thank you. I'm sorry I missed the dinner, but I think you all know I had a death in the family and had to leave. I think this county is going, or is losing, two historians, two people that have a sincere background and an interest in this county. Steve has the history of Craven County, has grown up and lived here, knows it. Scott has the history of the contacts and the people and knowing people and his way about him of getting things. He says he's not as smooth as Steve, but in writing, he's smoother than anybody on this board on that. And it's going to manifest. He's served greatly on getting things both local, state election, state board, and also at the federal. And that's gonna be missed and appreciated. Steve, you were my commissioner when you first started out. You came to my door, knocked on it, asked me for your vote, and I was proud to do that then, and still proud to know you. We haven't seen eye to eye, but I don't think we should all see eye to eye on things. Scott, we know we haven't seen eye to eye, but we've respected each other and we kept it, and it's all been about the county, what's best for the county and its people. The biggest part I got two things I wanna give to them, and they've been big advocates of Marine Corps Air Station Cherry Point, the Marines, and FRC East, and you're still gonna be needed. You're still gonna be advocates to do that. This is just a little token for my appreciation to keep on your mantle or wherever, to remember of where you come from and what you're supporting.
Thank you, George.
Oh, thank you. Oh, George, thank you.
Thank you. Very nice.
Commissioner Kay?
Yes, I'd like to say that it was an honor and a privilege working with Steve and Scott over the 12 years. I think John got more years in the interim of us, and I came as number second. But anyway, we have worked on this board for a long time, and we have made some good decisions and some bad. And no matter what happened with Steve and Scott, we weren't on the same accord, but yet we made the right decision. And wherever Scott was kind of hard-headed a little bit, but he was a good man.
That's just right.
Not all the time, but you're right sometimes. But anyway, it pays off. You did a good job here. And whenever we have any type of anger, whatever, when we leave this room, we buddies. And that's what it takes, working for the people of this community and for the county. And I'm gonna miss Steve, I'm gonna miss Scott. I know we got two people come on the board to replace them, but it might be hard, but we're gonna see what happens. And I thank God for both of y'all, that you have a prosperous Christmas and New Year, and may God be with you every day you go. Continue to bless each you and your family. Thank you very much.
Commissioner Sampson?
First, giving honor to our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, indeed a blessing to be working with these gentlemen up here. We haven't always agreed, and very little did we agree on, but we still made some good decisions, and we have done a great thing for this county. I've been here for 22 years, and when I first came here, a lot of fellas thought I wouldn't make it. A lot of them got a little upset. You know why I'm so gray-headed. I work with, this is the second Tyson, first and second Tyson I worked with. So it took a lot of patience with these guys now. But I tell you, I'm an advocate of equal access to the government, and that go for male and female. I want to see everybody on the same level. And I work hard to see that people are treated fairly. And sometimes I get knocked down, but I'm always getting up. Because I promised the Lord when I came on here, I was coming on here to serve the people, first to serve him, then to serve the people. And I want everyone to be equally treated, no matter who they are, where they come from, what the names are. I will work hard to see that they will get the equal rights that they should have. And I fought a lot of battles when I was young, and I came up tough. And I know what hard times is all about. And the Lord put me here so I wouldn't have to have these hard times. He put me here that I would be able to stand up for the equal access of all of the citizens. Boys, girls, men, women, everybody, because we have a great country. And the Lord proved it even to me, even more in this last few months when that storm hit through here. I've never seen in my life how people would work so closely together to help one another, no matter who they are or where they come from. I know God came from way on, from Seattle, Washington, to volunteer to come down here and help Craven County. And people from all over coming in. I was going out to the jail one day and I saw hundreds of trucks coming into Craven County, help out in this storm. I said, that's what the Lord wants. He wants us to realize that no matter who we are, where we come from, how much money we have, we're gonna need somebody along the way. And my wife, she's changed me a lot because she tells me all the time that I'm too hard sometimes. I said, well, I just can't be like you. But she is an asset to this community also. And a lot of things that I do that she kind of halfway help push me a little bit. But I know she's right, so I go ahead and do it anyway. But I just like for us to know that Jesus is real. Because real in my life. If it wasn't for Jesus, I wouldn't have been here today. I'd have been gone. Doctor told me I wouldn't live till I got 21. Now, right now, I haven't seen him lately, so he might be gone. But you just can't guess Jesus. I talk to him all the time. Sometimes you hear me, sometimes I like you don't hear me. But I tell you, everything works out good. And I'm proud to work with this board. Every board I worked on, we had disagreement, and I don't expect for everybody to agree with me neither. And I'm not going to agree with everybody else because I have Jesus speaking to my ear sometimes. Sometimes I listen and sometimes I don't. But most of the time I try to listen. The closer I get to him, the more I listen to him. And the older I get, the more I listen to him. Because I'm always begging him for some blessing. And he has blessed me upon blessing that I don't even deserve. Sometimes I wonder, I say, nah, I can't keep around on blessing me when I'm so contrary sometimes. But that's why I realize other people make mistakes too, because I make some sometimes. But I always try to correct the mistakes when I find out I was wrong. And the doctor, had to go to Dr. Friday, he asked me, he said, how long you been on the board? I said, I've been on the board or coming meeting me 22 years. He said, well, don't you think it's time somebody else have a chance? I said, well, when the Lord tell me, I'll move over because he has a job for me to do. He wants me to see that the people will get the same rights that others do. He wants to see that we love each other as well as he loved us. And I know we will never make that till we leave here because he loved me when I do something wrong and he loved me when I do something right. And most time I'm doing something that's not right, but he still keeps me in control. If it weren't for him, I don't know where I'd be now. But I just thank the Lord for being able to live in Craven County. I've been living here for 86 years, and the Lord been good to me for 86 years. And I love this county. I left once or twice, went somewhere else, but always come back. And I believe this is the garden spot of the United States right here in New Bern, North Carolina. And I wouldn't live nowhere else. The only thing you could put me on, you might put me off the board, but you can't put me out the county. So I'm just thankful for being here, and I'm always willing to be a servant for all those that's in need. I thank all of you I have worked with, and I appreciate what I have learned from you. I learned something from all of you, and I appreciate it. And it makes me more eager to work and do great things, not in my name, but in the name of Jesus Christ. That's it.
Thank you, Commissioner Sampson. That leaves me. I have to go back to the year 2010, when Scott Dacey and myself were running for election, and Steve Tyson was running for re-election. And the three of us won. In the first 4 years that we were together, this county, according to a couple county managers, said that more was accomplished in 4 years than ever could have been accomplished or was accomplished before. I find it an honor to have worked with these individuals. I had a tragedy and lost a son in 2010, and the support that I got from them, I'll never forget. And I'll never forget these two individuals. And with that, let me present the plaques to them. I think I'll take Steve first, because he's eager to go.
Was it that noticeable?
Steve, if you come up to Steve, I present this plaque in your name and for the service that you have done for the past 12 years. And it's been an honor to serve with you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, all of you.
Vice Chairman? Scott is never late, he's always on time.
Barely.
Scott, it's a pleasure and an honor to present you this, Scott, this plaque to you.
Spelled correctly, we're all in good order.
And it's been an honor to work with you.
Sir, thank you very, very much. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair, before we go any further, could we recognize our new sheriff?
We'll do that.
Okay.
It's been a pleasure to work with this board over the last year. It's been a pleasure to work with the staff. I have never found a harder working staff in all my working with, in history of my work experience. And to go a little bit further, these people during Hurricane Florence were just tremendous. They spent hours, 16, 17 hours a day. In fact, Jack, I think one night got 2 hours of sleep. But not only him, but all of the employees that spent their time in working in the emergency service center. You couldn't believe how they devoted their time and energy, and they were just unbelievable. And they went with little sleep. And little food, too. But I can't believe that we've got a county that we have employees that are so dedicated to furthering this county success as we have. And I believe that the county manager and the assistant county manager should be applauded for the way they've handled this position, their positions, and the way these people have worked to honor us. So thank you very much. With that, I think I'll turn it over to our attorney.
Mr. Chairman, thank you. I think before we hold our elections, we need to actually administer the oath of office to the incumbent commissioners and the newly elected commissioners.
Okay? Could we have those elected officials come up?
Yes, sir. Do them one by one, Mr. Chairman. Commissioner Booker is first.
If y'all would go to the center here. All right.
I, Denny Booker, do solemnly and sincerely swear
I, Denny Booker, do solemnly and sincerely swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance
that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance
to the state of North Carolina
to the state of North Carolina
and to the constitutional powers
and to the constitutional powers
and authorities
which are
or may be established for government thereof,
or may be established for government thereof,
and that I will endeavor to support,
and that I will endeavor to support,
maintain, and defend the Constitution
maintain, and
defend
the Constitution
of the state,
of the state,
not inconsistent with
not inconsistent with
the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the United States,
to the best of my knowledge
to the best of my knowledge
and ability.
and ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
I, Denny Booker,
I, Denny Booker,
do swear that I will
do swear that I will
and truly execute the duties
execute and truly the duties
of the office of Craven County Commissioner
of the office of Craven County Commissioner,
according to the best of my skill
according to the best of my skills
and
and ability,
according to the law.
according to the law,
So help me God.
so help me God. Thank you. My little girl had dance tonight, so she's not dressed up. Yes, Senator Sanders.
Jones, if you will repeat after me. I, Jason R. Jones,
I, Jason R. Jones,
do solemnly and sincerely swear
do solemnly and sincerely swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States,
of the United States,
that I will be faithful
and I will be faithful
and bear true allegiance
and bear true allegiance
to the state of North Carolina,
to the state of North Carolina,
and to the constitutional powers
and to the constitutional powers
and authorities
and authorities
which are or may be established
or may be established
for the government thereof,
for the government thereof,
and that I will endeavor
and I will endeavor
to support,
to
maintain,
maintain,
and defend
and defend
the Constitution of said state,
the Constitution of said state,
not inconsistent
not inconsistent
with the Constitution
with the
of
Constitution
the United States,
of the United States,
to the best of my knowledge
to the best of my knowledge
and ability,
and ability,
so help me God.
so help me God.
I, Jason R. Jones,
I, Jason R. Jones,
do swear
do swear
that I will well
that I will well
and truly execute
and truly execute
the duties of the office
the duties of the office
of Craven County Commissioner
of Craven County Commissioner
according to the best
according to the best
of my skill and ability,
of my skill and ability,
according to law,
according to law,
so help me God.
so help me God.
I could sign this before.
You can.
Commissioner Liner and I worked out that, he said he talked slow, and I said, that's okay, because I read slow. I, George S. Liner,
I, George S. Liner,
do solemnly
do solemnly
and sincerely swear
and sincerely swear
that I will support
that I will support
the Constitution
the Constitution
of the United States,
of the United States,
that I will be faithful
that I will be faithful
and bear true allegiance
and bear true allegiance
to the state of North
to
Carolina
the state of North Carolina
and to the constitutional powers
and to the constitutional powers
and authorities which are
which are
or may be established
which may be established
for the government thereof,
of the government thereof,
and that I will endeavor
that I will endeavor
to support,
to support,
maintain,
maintain,
and defend
and defend
the Constitution of said state,
and the Constitution of said state,
not inconsistent
not
with
inconsistent
the Constitution
with the Constitution
of the United States,
of the United States,
to the best of my knowledge
to the best of my knowledge
and ability,
and ability,
so help me God.
so help me God.
I, George S. Liner,
I, George S. Liner,
do swear
do swear
that I will well
that I will well
and truly execute
will truly execute
the duties
the duties
of the office
the office
of Craven County Commissioner
of Craven County Commissioner
according to the best of my skill
to the best of my skill
and ability,
and ability,
according to law,
according to law,
so help me God.
so help me God.
I, Thomas Mark,
I, Thomas Mark,
do solemnly and sincerely
do solemnly and sincerely
swear that I will support
swear that I will support
the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the United States.
that I will be faithful
I will be faithful
and bear true allegiance
and bear true allegiance
to the state of North
to
Carolina
the state of North Carolina
and to the constitutional powers
and to the constitutional powers
and authorities which are
and the authorities which are
or may be established
or may be established
for the government thereof,
for the government thereof,
and that I will endeavor
that I will endeavor
to support,
to support,
maintain, and defend
maintain, and defend
the Constitution of said state,
the Constitution of said state,
not inconsistent with
not inconsistent with
the Constitution of the United
the
States,
Constitution of the United States,
to the best of my knowledge
to the best of my knowledge
and ability,
and ability,
so help me God.
so help me God.
I, Thomas Mark,
I, Thomas Mark,
do swear that I will well
do swear that I will well
and truly execute
and truly execute
the duties of the office
the duties of the office
of Craven County Commissioner,
Craven County Commissioner,
according to the best of my skill
according to the best of my skill
and ability,
and ability,
according to law,
according to law.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Yes, Mr. McKay.
Come on, Jack. My sister coming here. She wanna come up, girl.
Left hand and raise your right. I, Theron McKay,
I, Farrell McCabe,
do solemnly
do solemnly,
and sincerely swear
sincerely swear
that I will support
that I will support
the Constitution of the United
the
States,
Constitution of the United States,
that I will be faithful
that I will be faithful
and bear true allegiance
and bear true allegiance
to the state of North Carolina
to the state of North Carolina
and to the
and to
constitutional powers
the constitutional power
and authorities which are
and authority are
or may be established
and may be established
for the government thereof,
for the government thereof,
and that I will
that I will
endeavor to support,
endeavor to support,
maintain, and defend
maintain, and defend
the Constitution of said state,
the Constitution of said state,
not inconsistent with
not inconsistent with
the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the United States,
to the best of my knowledge
to the best of my knowledge
and ability.
and ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
I, Theron McCabe,
I, Theron McCabe,
do swear
do swear
that I will
that I will
well and truly
well and truly
execute the duties
execute the duties
of the office
of the office
of Craven County
of
Commissioner
Craven County Commissioner
according to the best
and according to the best
of my skill and ability,
of my skill and ability,
according to law.
according to the law.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Thank you.
We had every 4 years.
Ms. Mitchell? Your husband?
Excuse me.
I, E.T. Mitchell,
I, E.T. Mitchell,
do solemnly and sincerely swear
do solemnly and sincerely swear
that I will support
that I will support
the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the United States,
that I will be faithful
that I will be faithful
and bear true allegiance
and bear true
to the
allegiance
state of North Carolina,
to the state of North
and to
Carolina
the constitutional powers
and to the constitutional
and
powers
authorities
and authorities
which are
which are
or may be established
or may be
for
established
the government thereof,
for the government thereof,
that I will endeavor
and that I will endeavor
to support,
to support,
maintain,
maintain,
and defend
and defend
the Constitution of said state,
the Constitution of said state,
not inconsistent
not inconsistent
with the Constitution
with the
of the
Constitution
United States,
of the United States,
to the best of my knowledge
to the best of my knowledge
and ability,
and ability,
so help me God.
so help me God. I, E.T. Mitchell,
E.T. Mitchell, do swear
do swear
that I will well
that I will well
and truly execute
and truly execute
the duties
the duties
of the office
of the office
of Craven County Commissioner,
of Craven County Commissioner,
according to the best of my skill
according to the best of my skill
and ability,
and ability,
according to law,
according to law,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Commissioner Lyon, I just wanted to let you know that this is especially solemn oath she took, because that's a Navy issue.
Thanks, Ms. Dove. I, Johnny Sampson Jr.,
I, Johnny Sampson,
do solemnly and sincerely swear
solemnly and sincerely swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the state of North Carolina,
that I will bear true
allegiance to the state of North Carolina, and to the constitutional powers and authority which
and to the constitutional power, authority
are or may be established
or may be established
for the government thereof,
for the government thereof,
and that I will endeavor
and that I will endeavor
to support,
support,
maintain,
maintain,
and defend the Constitution
and
of said
defend the
state,
Constitution of said state,
not inconsistent
not inconsistent
with the Constitution
with the Constitution
of the United
of
States,
the United States,
to the best of my knowledge
to the best of my knowledge
and ability.
and ability,
So help me God.
so help me God.
I, Johnny Sampson Jr.,
I, Johnny Sampson Jr.,
do swear that I will well
to swear that I will
and truly execute the duties
and truly execute the duties
of the office
of the office
of Craven County Commissioner
of Craven County Commissioner,
according to the best of my skill
according to the best of my skill
and ability,
and ability,
according to law.
according to law.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Witnesses, you put your hands.
sign this? My sister supposed to sign? I thought my sister supposed to sign too. Oh, that's right, that's right, that's right. Okay.
Mr. Chairman, you ready?
I'm ready.
Commissioners, good evening. I'm Ari Brady. I'm the county attorney pursuant to the board's bylaws. I preside over the election of the chairman for the new board that has just been seated. Momentarily, I will open the floor for nominations. I would ask that any nominations be made by last name. Then when it is apparent all nominations are over, I will ask for a motion, a second, and a vote that nominations be closed. And at that point, we'll take a roll call vote. If there are multiple nominations, your vote will be signified by the last name of the nominee that you support. We all clear on that process? All right, thank you. Then I will declare the floor open for nominations for the position of chairman.
I'd like to nominate Commissioner Lowner for the chair.
I'll second that.
Are there any further nominations? There being none, may I have a motion to close nominations?
So move.
Second.
We need a vote on that motion, please. By voice vote altogether. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, signify by like sign. Madam Clerk, can you call the roll?
Certainly. Commissioner Booker,
Yes.
Commissioner Jones,
Yes.
Commissioner Liner,
Yes.
Commissioner Mark,
Yes.
Commissioner McCabe,
Yes.
Commissioner Mitchell,
Yes.
Commissioner Sampson.
Yes.
Congratulations, Mr. Liner. I yield the meeting to you.
Do I need to get
You
the vote?
sworn in?
Yes, he does need to give an oath one more time.
Would you like to come up? I, George S. Liner,
I, George S. Liner,
do solemnly
do solemnly
and sincerely swear
and sincerely swear
that I will support
that I will support
and maintain
and maintain
the Constitution and laws
the Constitution and laws
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution and laws
and the Constitution and laws
of North Carolina,
of North Carolina,
not inconsistent therewith,
not inconsistent therewith,
and that I will
and that I will
faithfully discharge
faithfully discharge
the duties of my office
the duties of my office
as chairman
as chairman
of the Craven County Board of
as
Commissioners.
the Craven County Board of Commissioners.
I, George S. Liner,
I, George S. Liner,
will faithfully and truly,
will faithfully and truly,
to the best of my skill
to the best of my skills
and ability, execute the duties of the office
execute the duties of the office
of chairman
of chairman
of the Craven County Board of
of
Commissioners.
the Craven County Board of Commissioners.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations. I couldn't read it. I wanted to.
Procedures that were followed by the attorney. I will open up the floor for motions for vice chairman.
Mr. Chairman, you want to go ahead? Go ahead.
I'd like to nominate Tom Marks for vice chairman.
Second.
Second.
Any further nominations? Request nominations be closed.
Second. Motion to be closed.
Have a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Madam Clerk, roll call.
Commissioner Booker,
Yes.
Commissioner Jones?
Yes.
Commissioner Liner?
Yes.
Commissioner Mark?
Yes.
Commissioner McKay?
Yes.
Commissioner Mitchell?
Yes.
Commissioner Sampson?
Yes.
Do it for me.
I, Thomas F. Mark,
I, Thomas F. Mark,
do solemnly
do solemnly
and sincerely swear
and sincerely swear
that I will support and maintain
I will support and maintain
the Constitution and laws
the Constitution and laws
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution and laws
and the Constitution and laws
of North Carolina,
of North Carolina,
not inconsistent therewith,
not inconsistent therewith,
and that I will
and I will
faithfully discharge
faithfully discharge
the duties of my office
the duties of my office
as Vice Chairman
as Vice Chairman
of the Craven County Board of
of
Commissioners.
the Craven County Board of Commissioners.
I, Thomas F. Mark,
I, Thomas F. Mark,
will faithfully and truly,
will faithfully and truly,
to the best of my skill and ability,
to the best of my skill and ability,
execute the duties of the office
execute the duties of the office
of Vice Chairman
of Vice Chairman
of the Craven County Board of
of
Commissioners.
the Craven County Board of Commissioners.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Ladies and gentlemen, before we take a recess, because I think some of you will probably leave during that time frame, I would like to recognize our new sheriff, Chip Hughes. We thank you for being here. We thank you for At this time, I want to take a 15-minute recess. We have snacks and drinks in the other room. Please feel free to help yourself, and we'll rearrange and be back in here at 10 minutes after.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, I call to order your newly convened Craven County Board of Commissioners. Welcome to all of you and the new commissioners. We'll get right into the agenda. Next thing on the agenda is reconvene as new board. We've done that. Establish meeting dates, times, and locations. If everyone has had a chance to go over the dates that were presented to us. If anybody has any issues or problems with that, if not, entertain a motion to
I
accept.
make a motion to accept those dates and times.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Dates are set. Mr. Manager. Okay. They consider appointments of commissioners to boards and committees. Board, if it's all right with you, I will postpone that, delay that until our next meeting on the 17th. I will get with each and one of you and discuss boards with you on that, and then make the announcement on the 17th. No one has any objections. Okay, we're gonna table that until the 17th.
Okay.
Okay, next on the agenda is approved consent agenda, tax releases, and refunds.
I make a motion to approve tax releases and refunds.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, roll call vote, please.
Sir. Commissioner Booker?
Yes.
Commissioner Jones?
Yes.
Commissioner Liner? Chairman Liner, excuse me.
Yes.
Vice
So
Chair
long.
Hart,
Yes.
Commissioner McKay,
Yes.
Commissioner
You got
Mitchell.
pause on a
Yes.
minute.
Commissioner Sampson.
Yes.
My apologies.
All right. That is done. All right. Next on the list of petition of citizens, Vice Chairman.
Hal James.
I'm Hal James. I live at 305 Calico Drive here in Craven County. I'm a spokesperson for the Coastal Carolina Taxpayers Association, as most of you all know, and on behalf of our association, I want to congratulate all of you people who were just elected and re-elected to the Craven County Board of Commissioners, and it's great that it's happened the way it has, and appreciate all of y'all serving. I wonder where everybody, well, there's still quite a few people here, more than sometimes we have. I want to tell you a little bit about CCTA. I won't belabor it. We have a mission statement. It's very short. The Coastal Carolina Taxpayers Association, a 501c3 nonpartisan grassroots organization, advocates constitutionally limited government, individual freedom, and responsibility. We're dedicated to the principles set forth in the Declaration of Independence and the U.S. Constitution and to the preservation of the free market. So it's along those lines that we try to work with the board as much as we can to encourage the government to take that sort of tact. And I have a number of these, and Mr. Chairman, I would like to submit these to the clerk of the commission, and for you all to preview if you want to see them, and I've got plenty of them here for anybody else that wants one's on staff or whatever. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, sir. Next.
Ray Griffin.
Amen. God bless you and Merry Christmas, and thank God to all of the new ladies and gentlemen that are here, and bless them all, and hope you have a blessed Christmas. Ray Griffin, 1981, Vanceport, North Carolina. And I'd like to read the preamble to the introduction to the North Carolina Constitution, which our forefathers wrote in 1700s. It says, "We, the people of the state of North Carolina, grateful to the Almighty God, the sovereign ruler of nations, for the preservation of the American Union and the existence of our civil, political, and religious liberties, and acknowledge our dependence upon Him for the continuance of those blessings to us and our posterity. You swore here on the Bible today to uphold the Bible and the Constitution. But we have a socialist party out here that is simply saying that abortions, homosexuality, same-sex marriage, and transgressors and all these things are okay. They claim to have moral values, but the Bible otherwise states different. They have a profession, but they have no possession. Therefore, everything the Bible is against. We see now here in New Bern, not in New Bern, but right now the Craven County General Assembly is wanting to legalize marijuana for medical purposes. We see that now downtown New Bern has become a place of sale of Sunday beer at 10 o'clock in the morning. They had a brunch bill. It was packed. Now we see that New Bern now has a battle of breweries and beer joints, and they're on the sidewalks at 10 a.m. in the morning. And I look around to see how much New Bern has changed when we used to have the blue law. 1976 didn't even have a beer joint or nothing open on Sunday. What a disgrace New Bern has become to the people that are here. It's supposed to be a historical city. It's not historical anymore. Go downtown on Sundays, you can't even walk through a walkway without walking across somebody drinking beer or carrying on. What a fine example we have come to our children and our families and our people when they have to go through that situation and see all this going on. We see now that even the drugs now have got fentanyl. They got a drug 10 times stronger than fentanyl. Where are we going? Where are we headed? What is 2019 going to bring? We were once the Bible Belt. We once stood on something. We had some standards, and now everything is blowing out in the wind. Everything has changed. What are we going to do in 2019? I hope you guys will carry on. Thank God for some of you that were here when we done the 10 Commandments. We put up the "In God We Trust." And we need to get back to God. We need to get back to some standards. We need to get back to the Word, because I worked with New Bern PD for 6 years. And it's been about 10 years now. But crime has increased. It's worse than what it was. I've seen a whole lot more happen in these last few years than I've seen happen in many years. Everything is just expanding. But you guys sworn on the Bible, on the Word of God, to keep that Word. You swore in on it, and the North Carolina Constitution. So I'm just asking, what are you going to do with it? Are you going to do something good for Craven County? We are not getting any better as a county. I'm talking about religious-wise. We have an opioid epidemic. We're seeing things coming back, the AIDS virus, now they're talking about that again. Things haven't quit. They just have got behind the 8 ball. We as Christians need to pick up things and go forward and make New Bern a better city. I think all you would agree with that. We need to make New Bern a better city. It has changed. I remember as a kid, you could walk down the streets of New Bern and not have to worry about anybody, crime or anything. But people are literally scared to go to Walmart. I've talked to people who don't want to go to Walmart after dark. I've talked to people who don't even want to go to Waffle House after the dark. It's a sad world we're living in today. We need to get back to the glory of God. God bless you and have a Merry Christmas. And as I preached on the other week, let's celebrate Christmas, the day that Christ was born. And let's give him the glory and let's get back to the standards of God. Amen?
That's it.
Okay. Petitions of citizens closed. Okay, moving on to appointments. Appointments current, pending, upcoming. Adult Care Home Advisory Committee manager, we're still working that issue?
Yes, sir. I mean, there's still not a good answer to how you're gonna fill those seats. I would suggest, and I think as the previous chair, Tom Marcus mentioned, at some point you may just wanna have a meeting with some folks at the COG and try to figure out how to move forward.
Okay.
I think there's still a good bit of unclearness of how you become a member.
Has a COG got a new director?
No, sir.
Okay.
They have an interim director. Are you willing to reach out to them?
Okay. How about you reaching out and we'll set up a meeting?
Okay.
Okay. Next on the list, Emergency Medical Services Council. That's coming up. Have no number. We have anybody on the list?
Not this time, and
Okay.
Patty's aware of it.
Nursing Home Advisory Committee, Local Emergency Planning Committee, 1 vacancy. We have Craven Aging Planning Board is 1 agency. I know that the Habitat and them are working on that to get a name for us for that one. I'm aware of that one coming up. Craven County Board of Adjustments.
Mr. Chair, may I speak on that one?
Yes, sir.
This one is, again, an appointment that's really 2 areas. One is areas that the zoning takes place around the base, and the other zoning that takes place around the airport. I've spoken with incoming Commissioner Booker about this, and Commissioner McCabe in the past. We got a certain group of people we can pick from. We need to fill this vacancy. There's an amount of training a person we need to go through. While this board doesn't meet often, it needs to be in place. We need to make sure we can get a quorum if necessary. So I'll make sure we send that list back out. If you see a name you recognize and you want to see if they're willing to serve, that would be great to get this one filled.
We had 2 vacancies. One was filled.
You got one that's filled, one vacant left.
Who was the one that was?
That's for the airport.
I believe it was the seat nearest the airport, and that's why I've spoken with Commissioner Booker about that, see if he had any thoughts, and I think he did. I just need to make sure we get that list to him.
Yeah, well, I've got a person in mind. I haven't discussed it with him yet. I wanted to wait till I was official.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Current appointments, Craven County Health Board. Natalie Sheldon, veterinary term ends December 17th, would like to be considered for reappointment.
Mr. Chairman, I so move.
Second.
Okay. There's no other nominations for that. That's done by acclamation. Craven Pamlico Carteret Regional Library Board. Gunter Vinderhyde ends December 30th, 2018. Would like to be reconsidered for a reappointment.
Mr. Chairman, I would make that motion for that.
Okay, we have a motion for that. Hearing no other nominations, by acclamations, he's reappointed. Craven County Recreation Advisory, Carolyn Squires has submitted the application contained in B,
Nominate Karen Squires.
nomination has been made. Any other nominations?
Mr. Chairman, I
Sir.
do have a question. We have been trying to keep one member per commissioner's district to be consistent. Do we know which district this falls into? Is this Commissioner Sampson?
District 3.
Okay, all right.
District 3. Any other questions? Any other issues? Hearing no other nomination done by acclamation, Ms. Squires is reappointed. Upcoming appointments, Coastal Regional Solid Waste Management, Joe Fogel ends December 30th. Craven County Health Board, Keola Perry ends December 30th. Fireman's Relief Fund trustee, Troy Cleveland, December 30th. So if you can keep those in mind.
Mr. Chairman, may I ask a question?
Yes,
For
ma'am.
the upcoming appointments, is there a county standard over how many years a person may serve in these offices? And if there is such a term, where are these people in their tenure?
We have a tenure of 10 years if no one is on the waiting list or nobody is stepping up to serve. We, as a board, can authorize them to go past 10 years. So
Okay.
to find out what they're on the board, what,
I can
We-
provide that at the, when they're up for the current appointment, I can provide what year of service they're. Okay, thank you, I would appreciate that. I am a real believer in giving all citizens an opportunity to serve.
Right.
one comment to that, that's please push, because you're gonna find out nobody is stepping up.
Nobody signs that.
Nobody is signing
All
up,
is
so
it.
please push it. That's, I think we all believe that and want that, but, it's not happening, for a reason. Appointments being closed. Next on the agenda, county attorney's report.
Mr. Chairman, no report tonight.
No report. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Next on the list, county attorney, county manager.
I know you can't forget about me, Chairman Liner.
I could. I could.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, thank you for the opportunity tonight. Welcome to our two new commissioners who are seated tonight, and welcome back to our remaining commissioners who come back as well. A couple comments for you. One thing for your calendar, it was in your memo from last week. I want to make sure, because I think this is an important one, on December 10th at 4 p.m., the Craven County Community College will be having a groundbreaking for the STEM Center at the Havelock campus. As you remember, we're a funding agent of that project. That was part of the bond package several years ago, and Dr. Stats and his staff have reached out several times. We want to make sure you're there, make sure you get the invitation. It's very important to them. So we'll just make you aware of that. Then I want to update you on a couple projects we have going now. One is the FEMA Disaster Recovery Centers. For our two new commissioners, the county is maintaining two centers. One here in New Bern at the old Eckerts building at the behind Taco Bell there at the corner of Martin Luther King and Noose Boulevard, and one in Havelock at the old Rue 21 clothing store. I had sent an email out to you last week because we'd had some tentative closing dates on those FEMA centers, and today FEMA revised that closing list, and I brought that with me because I wanted to make you aware because they are accelerating the time on those. So we need to get some information out on that. The center in Havelock will close at 6 p.m. on December the 6th. Today is the 3rd. So they've accelerated that one by 2 days.
What time it close?
6 p.m.
December 6th, okay.
The center on, which we're calling the DeGraff and Reed Avenue Center at Old Eckerts Building, will close December 13th at 6 p.m., which is a full week earlier than they had said last week. I wanted to get that information to you as soon as possible so you have it. If you've been working with constituents who need FEMA services in person, they have a limited time to do that. Of course, they'll still be available by telephone, but as most people say, that could be a frustrating experience. In person is certainly better. We have done everything we can to advocate for them to keep it open longer. What FEMA bases it on is the people that walk through the door. It's the number of people that come in. They've seen the numbers dwindle, and they are going to close the centers. Any questions about that?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to correct something. We had a young lady here from the SBA, well, not SBA, FEMA, I guess it was
SBA.
And I asked her a question as to if you had applied and were accepted for the loan, and you hadn't used it, how long do you have before you have to use it? And I believe her answer was 2 months, and the answer is 6 months.
Okay. Thank you, sir. To give you a snapshot of the county's impact with the DRCs in Craven County, we have seen 10,631 individuals. That's not duplicates. Those are folks that walk through the doors. So that's roughly 10% of the population has needed their services. Okay, and the last thing I have is an update on the Fairfield Harbor debris project. As you're aware, this project requires special approval from FEMA because it's a gated community. We started about a month later than the other parts of the debris project. I'm proud to say, I've informed Chairman, Commissioner Mark, before the meeting, we had 11 trucks there today, which is 7 trucks more than we had last week. We did start to see the numbers really drastically increase in the amount of C&D they're taking away. We think that they'll finish before Christmas, but I hate to promise that to you because I don't know the weather or things, but they think by the 21st they're going to possibly be done. One of the issues for the new commissioners that we have in Fairfield Harbor is the amount of debris in an individual's yard. They can only pick up basically from the first 10 feet. So what we're having to do is pick the first 10 feet up. They're bringing a skid steer and they're pushing everything forward. And we're having to do that, Commissioner Mark, I've heard 3 and 4 times in some houses for the amount of debris that's out there.
Probably one of them.
Yeah.
But on Saturday, they had a bunch of volunteers from the church over here, and they came and did a good job in pushing a lot of the DNC up.
Thank you, sir. Private roads are complete with the exception of one road that was missed. We're aware of right now in the Harlow community. We'll be going back to take care of that hopefully this week.
What was that?
It's off of Adams Creek Road. It was an odd angle. I see they just rode right past it and did look down a certain private road there. The DMS sites are still active. That's where all the wood chips are. They collected all the vegetative material. We're chipping those materials and hopefully going to start disposing of them permanently this week. I'm looking at Gene. I believe we have a plan. Of course, all this is reimbursed through FEMA. But what the contractor would do is they would either truck it to the landfill and dispose of it there, or truck it to possibly an energy source that could use that material as fuel. So we're hopeful on that, but in any way, we're going to start winding those down as well. Commissioner
Chair, kind of imagine, on Highway 101, where my mother lived,
Mhm.
there's a house there, my aunt's house, it got flooded out, so they put all debris on the highway and still there. About 4980, Highway 101.
4980, is that a state, that's a state maintained
Yeah,
road?
state, mhm.
So we'll need to contact DOT on that.
Well, I contact DOT David Livingston, he said that wasn't his job. It was for private people to pick it up.
Oh, well, if it's a DOT road,
I know, it's Highway 101, he said he doesn't do that.
okay, well, let's work offline on that. I'll assist you.
I'll get you more and
Yeah,
confirm it.
give me a call. We'll take care of that one. Mr. Chair, that's my comments, unless you have anything for me. Thank you.
Unless somebody has comments.
No.
Questions for
Nope.
manager?
I
Nope.
have a question, please. In terms of the county, places where the county is picking up vegetative debris, there have been a number of trees down in a number of places, and people have not been able to get them pulled out, chopped up, moved to the roadside yet, simply because of the tree companies were all overwhelmed. So when you say that that is winding down, do you have a date when that is winding down?
So the collection will be for the private roads is wound down, except for the one exception that Commissioner McCabe in his district. For the grinding, it's when we finish. So those sites will remain open, and we'll take materials up until time we have to depart. And Gene, I believe those were 6-month leases, at least the Warehouser site. So we still have plenty of time there before we have to leave.
If I may have misunderstood her, but I thought she was talking about being picked up at those sites, not being delivered to those sites. Are we still picking up under our contractor?
Only the Fairfield Harbor site. We're winding down, just like your other municipalities, like the city of New Bern, Riverbend. You've got to do last call, because if you don't, you're going to start getting new material. And FEMA won't cover that, and it gets really hard to decipher what's new and what's storm. several months after.
Make sure that everybody understands, we picked up our last pickup of vegetative debris.
From private roads.
Now, what about, okay, we only do private roads.
We do
The rest of the
we have,
city-
yeah.
Rest belongs to the cities, rest.
City or
cities want the
DOT,
same.
right. So our process would be, we finish private roads, finish Fairfield Harbor, finish the debris management sites, which are the wood chip sites, and then we're out altogether. Hopefully we'll get paid.
Gotcha.
So,
5 years.
5 years. It was 2 for Irene. I can only imagine what this one would be.
We haven't got from Matthew yet.
That's why you got a strong fund balance. You gotta hang in there for a while.
Ma'am, anything else? Did you have anything?
Thank you, Mr. Chair, Board.
All right, Commissioners, comments? Commissioner McCabe?
I just want to say one thing, that I'd like to welcome the new members to this board, and I'm looking forward and working with you next 4 years. And I think that the board we got a good board, and hope everybody be able to work together for the county and make some good decisions. And we're all not going to agree on everything, but at least we do best for everyone here on the board. So thank you again for coming on the board, and it'll work out. And, we got another meeting right before Christmas, right? I can't say happy Christmas yet.
17th.
Oh, okay.
Got time yet.
Got time yet. Okay, that's all I have, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, sir. Commissioner Sampson?
Yes, I'd like to say that I appreciate what the county has done all the year, and we're winding up this year. This has been a trying year, and I'm just thankful that we came out as well as we did. In my lifetime, I never have seen a year like the year in the county and the city. It's the worst time I have seen, but it's the best time because people come together and work together, and work with each other, show love for each other, that we are on the road now. We also thank our employees who have done an outstanding job this year, because this is one that I have never seen in my life the weather change as worse as it has done this year. But people got a new attitude. I'm just hoping that they keep this attitude, that they work together, help each other, and be a blessing to this county rather than being a curse to this county. And I'm just overjoyed the way that we have been blessed. I know I received more blessing than I deserve because of the one I serve. And he's not just my Jesus, he's everybody's Jesus who want him. And a lot of times when you don't want him, he'll still help you. And you find very few people, if you keep getting on the nerve, don't act like you don't want help. You don't want no help, they won't help you. But Jesus, he don't do that. I'm glad he doesn't do. I've probably been lost a long time ago. But I'm just enthused of how this county has worked together and how our employees has worked together, working with each other, and one get in trouble, the other go there and help him. And that's where it ought to be. This country belongs to us all, and if we work with each other, we can continue to be a blessing to even other countries. Once we get straightened out, we can be able to help somebody else, and I'm just thankful that this seems to be going pretty good now. Let's hope it keep like it's going. You know, we still have some people have not reached the pinnacle of Christ Jesus yet, but it was a long time before I reached it, so the Lord gonna give them time to accept him just as he gave me time. That's all I have.
Thank you, sir. Commissioner Booker?
Just a couple of comments. Number one, it's a privilege to be elected to this board and to serve with this fine group of folks. I'm really looking forward to the next 4 years. I'm sure there's going to be some bumpy days and bumpy roads, and some days that we're going to maybe disagree, as the commissioner said a minute ago. But my big concern is trying to follow in the footsteps of Steve Tyson. He has been an amazing commissioner, particularly the last 3 or 4 months since this storm hit. He has done an incredible job, and I'm going to be hard pressed to live up to the job that he's done. So I just thank him for the great job that he's done, for the hard work that he's done, and I'm going to do my best to serve the citizens of this county. Thank you.
Commissioner Jones.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just 2 or 3 things. First, again, I welcome my colleagues, welcome aboard, look forward to working with you, and I think you'll find that you've both been in the political arena in the municipality, but I think you'll find county government that you will enjoy the opportunity to serve the hundred-some thousand citizens across this county. Very diverse county, from rural to urban to military, and so I welcome you into Western End and look forward to introducing you to rural life if you don't know much about it. I'm not saying you don't, but so you can learn, and the appreciation that we have for the rural part of our county. Also, Mr. Chairman, having said that, this evening we have Mr. Josh Lane, who's present. Josh has served as president, and I think you continue to serve as president of Fort Bomber Rescue Squad. Josh also, he was recognized by the Board of Education recently for his service. He has a business and a great ability to go and to help do asbestos and cleanup and so forth. And he offered his services to Craven County Board of Education to assist them in helping with the mold issue and getting back to our schools. And he was recognized, and I personally just want to say on behalf of the Board of Commissioners, we thank you for volunteering your time and resources and your ability that you gave. They put a price tag, Dr. Doyle did, on what he gave back that it would have cost the taxpayers if they had to hire somebody, and it was an astronomical amount of money. And that's the fine citizens that we have in this county. And I know, Mr. Chairman, you probably will do this before we leave today. I've already mentioned, I think it's appropriate for this Board of Commissioners to pay respect to our former president, George Herbert Walker Bush. You know, I've had the opportunity the last few days, and before I left home today, I watched the procession as he was carried into the Capitol Rotunda. And you know, it's odd as you think about a life of service as somebody who have dedicated their whole lives to public service and for what his family has done for this nation. And I think it would be appropriate if you would allow, before we dismiss this evening, to have a time of silence in his remembrance. So that's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Mitchell.
Mr. Chairman, thank you for the opportunity to speak. It is an humbling experience to have the voters place as much confidence in you when they, this much confidence in you when they elect you to public office. And I am humbled by it. I'm also honored by it. And I want to work very hard to justify that confidence. It's also a privilege to serve with a board like this. Everybody has talked about disagreement. That's healthy tension usually makes me smarter. I learned something I didn't know. I find a perspective I hadn't thought about. So I welcome a free exchange of ideas. My goal is to do everything I can to serve this board and this county so that we can provide the best services to all of our citizens. And that's not always easy. Sometimes we end up with 2 or 3 good choices and you can't do all of them. So I look forward to serving. I'm honored, I'm humbled, and I hope I can justify the confidence of the voters and also of this board.
Vice Chair.
Yes, I would like to congratulate and welcome both Commissioner Booker and Commissioner Mitchell to our board, and I'm looking forward to working with you. I attended, in September, we were supposed to have a US 70 corridor commission. And for those who are not familiar with 70 corridor commission, it's made up of 5 counties. There are 25 members. And they have done a lot to get the progress that we've accomplished to Highway 70. I serve as chairman of that board, and we passed a resolution, which I signed just recently on, I believe it was November 14th or 15th, basically stating that we supported construction of I-540 Southern Loop, which is a toll road that is the outer loop that runs around Durham and Raleigh, which at some point will hook up with 70 and make the flow of traffic a lot faster from Raleigh and I guess to Raleigh. So that was put into effect. DOT was very much in need of our supporting that so that they could get that started. So that's about all I have tonight to report. I look forward to reporting more on Highway 70 in the future.
Thank you. And before I get started with my comments put out there, I think Commissioner Jones summed it up with the passing of our 44th president. The service that he has provided for this country for more than 60-some years is astronomical, and what he has done, being a war hero, coming up through the ranks all the way up to the President of the United States, I think it's well-deserved and well-honored if everyone would join me in a moment of silence. Thank you. All right, I have a couple things I want to bring up. First of all, it's my honor and my pleasure, and it's a great honor for you all to install the confidence for me to be chair. I thank you for your vote. Thank you for putting me in here. I wish I could say I was looking forward to it, but we have a lot on our plate that's coming up. And there's a lot of things that's out there that's got to be looked at and taken care of. But I appreciate the confidence in you by putting me here. I say welcome to the 2 new commissioners. I thank you for stepping up and going through the rigmarole. It's just starting. You know that from the city side, but it's even more so from the county side. Instead of having 20,000 hollering at you, you got 106,000 gonna be hollering at you of wanting something. So welcome. We've got a long road ahead of us for this coming year to try to get this county back to where it was. I don't think it's gonna take longer than the 1 year, but we've gotta move and I think someone made the statement some time ago, we gotta be that squeaky wheel in Raleigh and in DC, so we're not left out. And we're already being left out where it comes as far as the schools on getting shares of the funding. It's going to the counties around us and not us. So we've gotta make sure that we're looking at that. Again, welcome. Couple things on here. I think everyone has been made aware the ethics training is gonna be 31 January and 1 February. I hope everyone has signed up for that, if not for the 2-day conference, but at least for the 1-day conference for the ethics training. The ethics training on the county side is different than the ethics training on the municipality side. So please, if you haven't, do that. We are a new board. We are 7 diverse individuals with different opinions on this board. And if you've watched this board, we've all reflected it at one time or another. We all have the right to express those opinions that we believe in, that we have. I would like to remind everybody to be respectful of each other's opinions and how they present it. We may not, and we will probably not, agree to some of those opinions, but we have the right for that individual or us to make those opinions, to disagree or not disagree, so we need to look to remember us for that. We were all elected by districts, but we all vote for the county as a whole. I know you have your loyalties to the districts, the people that voted you, but it's considered looking at the whole county as a whole. I will be talking with you this coming week for board assignments. You're going to be asked to sit on different boards that's not part of what the county has as far as boards. No one will tell you not to, but if you go to a committee meeting or if you go to a public hearing and ask for a board, you've got to remember that you're representing basically yourself. You're not representing this county board unless this board assigns you to that committee or to that talking group. So just remember that. I think you've both been given the code of ethics and the rules of procedure. I ask all of us to refresh ourselves on that, of what's in it. We're gonna be looking at it this coming year. It hasn't been changed since 2010. There's some things in there that needs to be changed and updated. So if you would please take a look at that. Just a reminder for all of us that we only have one person, two people that work for us. That's the manager and the lawyer. We can only task them as a board. Department heads, we can't task them or ask them to do something without first asking the manager to do it. No one is going to stop you from going to see the departments and talking to departments, but please be reminded, they all work for that gentleman over there. He hires and fires, and we listen on that. And that's just a reminder for all of us. I mean, we got a new board, we gotta remember where we're at on that. And on that, I will take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? We are adjourned.